Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brendan Plays. This is Total Extreme Wrestling for our All Elite Wrestling save. We are in week 3 of November and we have just finished the Full Gear pay-per-view in our last episode, and today we begin the build to our newest edition of a pay-per-view called Royal Flush. Now, of course, let's take a quick little look at the recap of Full Gear, an 87 rated edition of Full Gear, obviously our best edition of Full Gear so far. The main event was the Super Elite, Kenny Omega, Adam Cole, and the Young Bucks. They defeated CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Darby Allin, and Malachi Black. Big match indeed, 82 rated. The best match on the card though was actually Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho, 89 rated. That surprised me. I don't know if that surprised you, but I did not expect that to be the best match coming in. In fact, I thought that match would be 77, 78 at best. To get 89 from that is incredible. So very pleased with that. Now, obviously, we move on to our next pay-per-view, which will be Royal Flush, and that's going to be held in London. Now, I'm also considering doing a special edition of Dynamite called Winter is Coming, which, of course, is what's going to be happening in real life. I thought about doing that as a pay-per-view, and I thought, maybe we should move the Royal Flush event back. Maybe we should do some other different time. But, I think it's a good opportunity just to continue to build the brand as a whole and try and continue to get more of a global presence. So let's go to London, let's do the Royal Flush pay-per-view, and we might do a special edition of Dynamite just so we can continue our storylines, because when we go to the UK, it's going to be difficult to have good quality matches there. Okay, so for our storylines, we've got quite a lot of new ones. Some of these I'm pretty happy with, some of these we may change, but here's what we got so far. So Bobby Fish and Eddie Kingston, so again, another mid-card program here. Eddie Kingston is without Jon Moxley at the moment. We decided to give Jon Moxley a few weeks off. I think we might actually extend that to maybe another month off, just to kind of freshen him up when he does come back, and also to emulate what's happening with him in real life. So that's a nice mid-card program to give Kingston something to do. Bobby Fish is a good opponent for Kingston to beat. Now, here's where it gets a little interesting. Obviously, we're going to England, and I figured, okay, let's put together an English team. Turns out we only have 3 English AEW wrestlers on the roster. So those are Park, Kip Sabian, and Anthony Ogogo. Now, apart from Kip Sabian, the rest are all heels, so that works out okay, and Kip Sabian was going to turn heel anyways. So that's fine. So 3, English wrestlers, and I thought, okay, why don't we put them all together and have a home country sort of vibe there and kind of really celebrate that and have an English team that the crowd can really support. And I wanted to do a world team, the England versus the world. And I thought, okay, let's do a Canadian wrestler, an Australian wrestler, a Mexican, an American, and have like a real mix of wrestlers. Well, turns out we don't have anyone. All we have is American wrestlers, and apart from a few here and there, like the Lucha Bros, but they're heels. So we don't have any babyface wrestlers that are not American, So we're in a bit of trouble, so we just couldn't do it. So in the end, we had to shift gears. I decided, okay, we'll do England and we'll do America. So England and America, and I figured, okay, who's the most American people that we have? The Nightmare Family. So my initial idea going from, a 3-on-3 or a 4-on-4 match kind of morphed into, well, Cody's the world champion, Park is the English, top English star that we have. Let's do Cody and Park at the pay-per-view. So that's kind of what it morphed into. So we do have Ogogo, we do have Kip Sabian in the storyline, and we ended up borrowing Nick Aldis as well, because he's the other most over English wrestler that we could get our hands on. So we borrowed him for a few appearances, and we probably will do a 4-on-4 match. Maybe at the pay-per-view itself, it might be a 3-on-3, and we'll have Cody and Park 1-on-1. So we will utilize this storyline in that way. So I figured, okay, Cody and Park 1-on-1, that'll be good. Not much else in the storyline, because it's a lot of mid-card to lower-card guys, but it's a chance to get them some TV time and try and elevate them. And of course, Anthony Ogogo is one guy we're trying to elevate. So I thought, okay, let's do it. Let's try something a little bit different and do a bit of a English and American storyline. And of course, you got to have your top English guys on the card if you're going to go over there to try and build the company in England. So it makes a fair bit of sense. I don't know if the storyline itself will go down very well, but we'll wait and see. The Inner Circle versus the Dark Order. So Inner Circle's having a bit of a rough time. Jericho just lost to Sammy Guevara. Santana and Ortiz aren't doing a lot. So I figured, okay, let's put them in more of a storyline for them to rebound. They can beat the Dark Order. They can, be humiliated a little bit, try and get a bit of their credibility back after a few losses, and do it against the Dark Order. Jade Cargill and Hikarushi for the Women's Championship. So Britt Baker was champion for a year. We decided, okay, she's lost the belt. Let's give her a month off, maybe longer, to have her come back, maybe as a babyface, freshen her up that way. Now, it turns out the only person to have ever beaten Jade Cargill in our save is Hikaru Shida. I forgot all about that, so I didn't know that was the thing. But back early on in the save, we had Shida beat Jade Cargill. I think we played it off like, Jade is a rookie. She's, still really new, making mistakes. Now it kind of makes sense. Okay, well, Jade's champion. Shida's the only one to beat Jade. Let's go in that direction. Lance Archer and Adam Page for the TNT Championship. Didn't really know who to put Page with. I even thought about Lance Archer and Cody for the World Championship. So we went TNT instead. I feel like that'll be a good match, but a bit more of a transitional, not a huge program, I suppose, for Adam Page. We still got the Punk and the Elite storyline going on, so Team Punk and Elite in the Elite, that'll still continue. Ricky Starks and Jungle Boy. So this might transition into Team Taz versus Jurassic Express. A bit of a battle of the two brightest prospects in AEW. So Ricky Starks is on fire, Jungle Boy's doing really well. Two guys who are, potentially future stars in the company. They can fight it out to see who's the better out of the two. Ruby Soho and Nyla Rose. So Ruby's kind of on her way. She's trying to work her way up to getting a title shot. Nyla Rose is standing in her way. Superbad versus Shining Force. Now, Shining Force is a brand new tag team, and we've decided to bring back Yuka Sakazaki. Now, we tried to bring her back a few months ago. She refused to do it. She didn't want to sign back with us because we pissed her off last time we had her. Now she's decided, okay, I will come back, and I figured, okay, we'll throw her in a tag team with Riho. Two women are doing absolutely nothing. Japan connection, yeah, alright, typical, but why not? So, I had no idea what to call them, so I just let the TW, I just went randomized name, and it came up with Shining Force, and I thought, you know what, Shining Force, that's good enough for me. If you have a better name, let me know in the comment section down below, but they'll take on Superbad. Originally, it was going to be Big Swole and Diamante in this feud, but of course, Big Swole has quit AEW in real life, so we'll have to release her in our game. So that's why Double Trouble is no longer a thing. It's only Single Trouble. It's no longer double. Will Hobbs will take on Jake Hager. So we're really trying to push Will Hobbs, obviously. Jake Hager I don't care about at all. So I think it's time to have Will Hobbs go over Jake Hager or have some sort of big guy feud. And of course the women's tag team storyline will continue that one on. Anna Jay, Tay Conti are the new tag team champions, the first ever women's tag team champions. They'll probably have a rematch against the Inspiration at some point. That's what we have cooking at the moment here with our storylines. And as I said earlier on, Yuka Sakazaki coming back, Shining Force, new tag team. So let's have a quick look at her. Not a lot of popularity, but obviously very talented in the ring. Her last match, she performed at 62, which was pretty good. That was in TJPW. So that's what we have working with her. Obviously, we've had her in the past. Has it gone down super well? She only had 2 matches. She averaged 38. So her match against Penelope Ford, she performed at 39. So I think we could probably expect, high 30s to low 40s from her. And Rio is performing around about the same. So I feel like together, this could be a really solid tag team. Rio could probably hit a 50. So that could be a really good tag team. I could end up see them potentially winning the tag team championships at some point. Now that we don't have Double Trouble, we were missing a babyface tag team, and that helps fill that void. We still need a couple more tag teams in the women's division for sure. We're definitely lacking one. Kira Hogan, someone that I feel like we could give her a tag team partner of some sort. Who is it going to be? That I don't know. We don't quite have a suitable heel tag team partner for her because we are a little bit light in the heel side of things. So that's someone that we could give her somebody to advance her in the women's division and also kind of beef up the women's tag team division a little bit as well. But that's what's going on at the moment. That's the fallout from the Full Gear pay-per-view. We are working towards Royal Flush. We have Dynamite booked, so let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Okay, on the pre-show, Mel was defeated by Jamie Hayter. Now, of course, Mel was a part of Superbad. They've kicked her out. Jamie Hayter gets a chance to get a win. She needs it badly and gets one over Mel to prove that she, made the right choice in getting rid of Mel. 32 for the match. Let's open up the main card here with the Elite. So the Elite, they won at Full Gear, and they decided to come out in the ring, and of course they're going to brag about how great they are. Oh my god, how great are we? We beat them down, and we dominated them, we made them leave for months. Now, in the match itself, we actually defeat them. But of course they cheated at the pay-per-view. Blatantly cheated to win. Didn't deserve it. In the end, Punk, Danielson, Malachi, and Darby have pretty much heard enough. They're sick and tired of the Elite running their mouth. They don't want to respond to the mic. They just run to the ring and they just start fighting. It's just an all-out brawl breaks out. 4-on-4. Everyone's just fighting. Fists have been thrown down. All the security, all the wrestlers come out to try and break this thing up. It is all-out chaos between these two teams. The talking is done. It's enough talk. It's time just to get these guys in there and fight. And that's exactly what's gone down in this one. Eddie Kingston took on Shawn Spears for 56, Kingston 55, Shawn Spears 43. Big improvement by Eddie Kingston, 55 as a solo. Really, really solid stuff. Obviously giving him a win here to prepare him for what is to come, which of course is Bobby Fish. And speaking of, Bobby Fish and Eddie Kingston get into a confrontation after Kingston's match in the locker room. So Bobby Fish has been talking a lot of trash for everyone. He's talking about how great he is. Well, Will Hobbs beat him, and yet he's still in the face of Eddie Kingston, so Eddie Kingston won't be too pleased about that. TJ celebrate their win, but the Inspiration say they were robbed by poor refereeing. So the Inspiration are blaming the referees for the fact that they lost the championship match. They believe the decision should have been overturned. They believe that they deserve another chance. They deserve a rematch. Blah, blah, blah. So they are not admitting defeat at all. 52 for that one. So good promo between the two tag teams. Look, TJ have gained a lot out of this women's tag team division. They've been probably the biggest winners so far, obviously because they are champions, but they've just been gaining so much before that. And they're on fire. 52 for a promo here with TJ is really good. The Lucha Bros, they defeated the Top Flight Tag Team for a 57 rated match. Penta 73, Ray Phoenix 78, Dante 33, and Darius 36. Well, I wanted to have a really high spot, high flying, crazy match between these two teams. I really thought we'd get a lot more out of it. Lucha Bros are coming off a massive win. They just beat the Hardys, so I wanted to get them on TV with another win to continue their momentum. They are really on a rise. They probably deserve a chance at the titles soon. I feel like a babyface turn could even be a good thing for them at some point down the line as well. Sting is here. He decides to book the Elite and Punk's team in a street fight in the near future. So I'm thinking probably winter is coming. We might do that. So we had the 4-on-4, and obviously it was a traditional tag team match. Now the way that it's going, Sting obviously believes, okay, this is just getting out of hand. We need to, maybe just have these two teams just fight. These guys just got to get in there and fight. Throw away the rule book. We need to find a winner. So that's kind of where we're headed with this one. 75, kind of all-out warfare here between two teams. Thought about blood and guts here as well. I thought about a steel cage or something, but I feel like we did blood and guts earlier in the year. It's a little bit too soon to do it again, so I figured maybe just a 4-on-4, no DQ street fight might do the job. Hikarushi defeated Kiera Hogan in a 48 rated match. It's a rematch from a few weeks ago where we had a really good match between these two on Dark, so I figured why not bring it to Dynamite. Shida 50, Kiera Hogan was good as well, 32. 12-minute match, so nice win for Shida. And post-match, in an interview with Tony Schiavone, Shida is interviewed about being the top contender for Jade Cargill's title. So in the contendership rankings, she is now number 1, and she's ready for a title shot. Park is joined by the English wrestlers of Anthony Ogogo and Kip Sabian, and they say they've been disrespected as a country and that they deserve better. So obviously they believe English wrestlers and England in general don't get the respect that it deserves. And the pay-per-view coming up, they want to really prove that they want to prove that they deserve more. So 82 for the promo here by Park, kicking off the new storyline between England and America. So a surprise here by having Ogogo and Sabian out with Park. It's something a little bit different. Kip Sabian's going to turn heel. We're just gonna do it. Let's just get it done. So he's a heel now. Because it's gonna hurt him every single segment until he does turn. So we'll just get it out of the way. So Park's going to be leading a couple of new different wrestlers. We're going to introduce Nick Aldis at some point. So it's a good opportunity for Park to really show us how good he is as a solo. Is he good enough to lead a really lower tier group? Because he's got the Lucha Bros, but they're pretty good. So can Park really be a top guy? This is a chance for him to really prove it. Powerhouse Hobbs took on Jake Hager in a 62 rated match. Will Hobbs 47, Jake Hager 62. So we went with a surprise win. The young guy defeats the veteran in a surprise victory. 62 for the match, as I said. So Will Hobbs picks up a win, and of course Jake Hager's not going to be happy. Post-match, he's furious, and he decides to beat down Will Hobbs. So Jake Hager was not happy about losing to Will Hobbs. So he's going to be frustrated at us for doing that, but this is the future. Will Hobbs, he's got a lot of upside. Jake Hager's been really average for a long time, so we're not too worried if he's angry. Sam Guevara says he is glad he can finally move on from the inner circle, and he's excited for the future. 78. So a follow-up segment here for Sammy after beating Jericho. I figured we've got to get him on the show at some capacity. I'm thinking MJF could be his next opponent. The only issue with that is I don't want either guy to lose. You know, Sammy Guevara needs a win. MJF is coming off some losses. He needs a win. So that's my concern. Both guys need a win, but they would be probably the right opponents for each other right now. So maybe both guys just kind of pick up some wins, beat some low tier guys, build some momentum before we put them in a bigger program. Leah Rush congratulates Jade on her title win and offers her a spot in the portfolio. Well, I'm thinking that Leah Rush, he's got a tag team in Bowens and Caster, great. But he needs more. They need at least one more in the portfolio. Jade Cargill, we've been talking about giving her a manager for a while. We decided against it, but I feel like Leah Rush would be a good addition to Jade Cargill's act. Leah Rush, he's a small guy, so he makes Jade look even bigger. So it makes her feel even more, larger than life than what she is. He can talk. He's pretty good on the mic. And I feel like I was looking around the card for Leah Rush, trying to find him somebody. It just wasn't a singles guy that probably needed, Leo. So I felt, okay, why don't we try a woman? And again, wasn't many heels that he could really choose from. He only got Abaddon, who that just wouldn't work. Nyla Rose is Vicky Guerrero already. So there really just wasn't, Layla Hirsch, not important enough. So Jade was the right person. So if Leo can get Jade, it kind of puts the portfolio on the map. They've got a big name in the group. They've got some credibility. They've got a champion. So it just means that the group's a lot bigger than what it was. So I feel like that's a good addition. And that's kind of where we're heading to in the next little bit. Main event. Wow. 92 rated match. So, Bryan Danielson, I believe this might be his Dynamite debut. We decided we'll finally put him out there. The Elite, they've been fighting Punk and his crew for a while now. Let's get it in the ring. And by God, did we get in the ring. Bryan Danielson, 82, Matt Jackson, 81, but I guess because the storyline here was so hot, it's driven it up to 92. That I just cannot believe. Danielson was off his game as well. He could have done better. Bryan Danielson, though, he picks up the win. Nick Jackson tried to help Matt, but it just didn't work out that way. He ends up costing Matt the match and gives Danielson a massive win. That could be, I think that's the best match we've had in the series, 92. And I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of these numbers with Danielson and Punk in the ring a lot more. I think we're going to start getting a lot more of that stuff. Matt Jackson debuted a new power spot that showcased his ability to sell well, so his psychology will be helped. He needs that. He needs improvement in his psychology badly. Well, an incredible main event mixed in with a lot of averageness around it gives us a 76 rated show. So there wasn't much else on the show that was amazing, but that's kind of to be expected when you kind of hit the reset button and you start to rebuild. The only storyline that's kind of continued on from Full Gear was the Elite storyline, so that's why it's probably, deserving of the main event and deserving of such a high rating. Okay, the post report. So as I said, 76 rated show, 1.69 was the TV rating. So it gives us 954,000 viewers on TNT who got the chance to watch a very high quality match. Now, a lot of people have left WWE, as you can see. Karen Cross, Keith Lee, Mia, Mia Yim. So I forgot to release a few of these people from NXT and WWE when they first got fired. I thought I had done it, but I forgot. So that's why they've all been moved on. Now, speaking of some different names signing with some different companies, Impact. I went ahead and fixed up the Impact's rostering and made some different changes for myself as well to make Impact a little bit more interesting. So we went ahead and signed some top tier talent for Impact. We also made some changes, so a lot of guys that should have been there were not. For example, Brian Myers, he's there. Matt Cardona, he's there. So some guys that should have already been there joined the roster. Then we made some fantasy things. We brought Enzo and Cass in there. So Morrissey and Enzo are now together in Impact. We brought EC3 back there. Eric Young's there now. The big one is being Braun Strowman. Now, there's some rumors that he was going to go to Impact, so I think, okay, why not? Let's bring him in there. Let's make him a top guy there and try and, let Impact recover. It's been a tough journey for them, so why not bring in probably the biggest name they could get right now, other than maybe Bray Wyatt, and let's see what they do with him. So we brought him into Impact. So it's really given them a big jolt to their roster. We gave them Johnny Impact as well. Brought him back to Impact, so why not? Why not try and make Impact a little bit more interesting now that Ring of Honor is not so much? So we've seen already that their shows have improved a fair bit. They were doing, around 50s, low 50s, 51, you can see. I feel like pretty soon, they did a 57 in their last show, but their main event was a 74. They also had a 72 rated match. I feel like they'll start hitting 60s and it'll be up and up from there. So that's one of the changes that we made to try and make Impact just a little bit more exciting because they've been, they didn't even have Gallows and Anderson. They only had Gallows, so it was a lot of weird. Their roster was really outdated, so a chance for us just to update it and kind of make it a little bit more interesting. So as we said, Big Swole, she's decided to leave. We might have her lose a couple of matches before we get rid of her. Maybe we'll have her lose one match on Rampage or Dark, and before we do remove her. She does have a little bit of popularity, not a lot, but it'll help somebody out. So we will be removing her from the roster very, very soon. All right, on to AEW Dark. Let's jump into it. And on the first match of the show, we had the team of Shining Force, Yuka Sakazaki and Riho, make their debut as a team, taking on Penelope Ford and Jamie Hayter. It was about a 12-minute match, and the win, of course, went to Shining Force 25. So not the best version of Super Bad, with obviously Hayter there. But Riho 38, Yuka 29, pretty low. Yeah, not as good as I was expecting. Jamie 30, she was the best. She was better than Yuka, and Penelope Ford slightly better, 32. So Yuka's new gimmick was rated as great, but they just didn't have enough popularity to make this match good. So I'm a little surprised that Yuka didn't do that well. But maybe next time. But not a good start for her in her big return. Ruby Soho was interrupted by Vicky Guerrero and says that Nyla Rose should be the next in line for the title shot and not Ruby. 40 for that one, so that kicks off that new storyline. Anthony Ogogo and Kip Sabian had a chance to team up together, and they took on and defeated the Gun Club. So our first look at the team of Sabian and Ogogo, Kip was 39 and Ogogo 31. Honestly, not bad. That is not that bad. The Arse Boys, the Gun Club, they were pretty bad. They weren't great, but nonetheless, we tried to make this match decent, and surprisingly, there was enough popularity in this match to actually have it be rated properly. And the fact is that this match got rated as 26, so that's good and really, really bad at the same time. So 26, yeah. And Austin Gunn had a nose injury as well. Leah Rush and the Portfolio, so Leah Rush and the Acclaimed, they promo on the tag team division, 51. So Bowen's underperforming a little bit here, whereas Leah Rush did really, really well, 51 for that one. So look, Portfolio, I really believe this is going to be a good, solid mid-card team at some point. And some more promos like this, yeah, I can see it happening. Jake Hager got a quick win over Wheeler Yuta. So obviously Hager lost to Will Hobbs on Dynamite. Had to give him a win back, make him look a little bit better. So Hager 60. Wheeler Yuta was actually okay, 35. A little bit better than I expected. 5-minute match, 40 rated. Yeah, so in and out quickly. Hager says that Hobbs' win was a fluke and will never happen again. 46 rated. So yeah, Jake Hager promoing is never good, but you know, we had to do something here, so 46 for that one. Shawn Spears and Joey Janella went one-on-one. Surprisingly, the crowd didn't care about this one despite both guys having around 40 popularity, but none of them are, you know, both of them are unimportant in terms of their perception. So Shawn Spears 41, Joey Janella 44. So Joey Janella, his best area is the tri-state area, so he's got 41 pop there. Shawn Spears has been sitting at 38 forever. I figured good opportunity for Shawn to maybe jump to 40 and give him a little bit of a boost up, so that's what we tried to accomplish here. And we'll probably have Joey Janela lose to a few more guys before his contract expires at the end of the month. Team Taz talk about how Ricky Starks will take over AEW very soon. So this kind of begins the storyline of Jungle Boy and Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks probably name dropping Jungle Boy in his promo. The interesting thing about all this is Brian Cage just kind of sitting there, standing there, and just listening to how great Ricky Starks is, but none of the attention is on Brian Cage. So you have to wonder how long will he like that for. 62 nonetheless. Warlow, he got a quick win over Fuego del Sol. 4-minute match, 49 rated. Warlow was good, 68. Probably the best I've seen him. Fuego, 28. Brandy and Red Velvet talk about their recent losses for 40. So a bit of promo time for them to try and boost them up. And our main event was Miro and Carl Anderson, which will be one of the better matches we'll have on Dark. 67, Miro 79, Anderson 58. Wanted to have Miro bounce back. He's had some losses as of late. Wanted to give him a win, and I wanted him to beat someone decent. Carl Anderson, don't really care about him, so I was happy for him to take the loss here and make Miro look good. In the end, a 67 main event for a 53 overall show. Okay, and for Rampage, the Inner Circle, they took on and defeated 2.0, so that's Jericho and Santana and Ortiz. 55 in the match. Chris Jericho 81, Ortiz 72, Santana 67. Pretty good from their end. Jeff Parker was the best in the other team, 44. So we gave a win to the Inner Circle. They've obviously had some tough times. Post-match, well, it was the Dark Order. They came out and they mocked the Inner Circle for their recent downfall. Chris Jericho is furious with it, so 52 for that one. Kicking off the new storyline, obviously the Dark Order, chance for them to kind of show us what they can do on the mic. Wasn't great, 52, but hopefully what we can get out of this storyline is them getting elevated a little bit and getting the Inner Circle some momentum back. Jake Roberts and Lance Archer challenge Adam Page. So they're at their undisclosed location, some warehouse somewhere, and they decide to lay down the challenge for Adam Page, and that Lance Archer will be on Dynamite next week to hear his response, 71. We gave a win to Sammy Guevara over Peter Avalon, 70. Guevara 77, Peter Avalon 42. So we talked about giving Sammy Guevara some more wins, getting him, some momentum before we kind of get him into another storyline. So that's what we're doing here with a win over Peter Avalon. Good match. Cody Rhodes announces an open challenge. Eddie Kingston, he tries to accept it, but Bobby Fish gets in first. So two guys kind of like struggling to get to the ring first. They both want to accept it. They're arguing who gets to do it. It's an open challenge for the world title. So it's a big deal. So both guys arguing over it. In the end, it's given to Bobby Fish. He's told that he got there first or whatever. Eddie Kingston's pissed off. He's not happy. So the main event is Cody Rhodes and Bobby Fish for the world title. 79 rated match. So we wanted these two guys to go out there and give the best possible match they could, and they did. 79, pretty good. Gives Cody Rhodes another title defense, gives him some more momentum, and obviously we had Eddie Kingston on commentary to watch on, and adds a lot of heat to the feud between Bobby and Eddie. So I like what we did here. Both guys felt as though they accepted the open challenge, and because you never really know how does an open challenge work, who gets to take the challenge. It's just kind of like, well, I got it. They kind of show up. So you got two guys who both thought they got there first. They're both running to the ring, trying to push and shove each other. In the end, Bobby Fish gets there. He still loses. Eddie Kingston, you know what he's going to react like. He's going to be furious about it. So it gives us a nice little leg up and a great way to kind of kick off a new storyline, something a little bit different that we haven't done just yet. But nonetheless, Cody was great, 83. Fish was good, 52. Post-match is where it matters the most. Cody Rhodes addresses Park's comments on Dynamite, and he says he will step up to represent USA if need be. 99 for that one. you know Cody's going to step up. He's the American Nightmare. He's going to step up and fight for USA. That's what he's going to do here, 99. Gives us a 75 rated edition of Rampage. Pretty good. I'm happy with that. Okay, let's take a look. Rampage, as we said, 9,200 people in attendance, 1.59 TV rating, and 871,000 viewers on TNT. So doing really strong ratings for Rampage still, which is obviously fantastic to see. What else is going on? Billy Gunn, his contract is up. Obviously, he's retired now as a wrestler, so that's an interesting one. At the moment, he is getting some decent amount of money, $1,000 per show. And obviously, he's managing the Gun Club. I feel like we still need him. He obviously adds some value, and he's a good road agent. So we'll try and hang on to him, but in terms of his value, his price has only gone down slightly. So we'll try and hang on to him. Maybe 9 months, $850 per show. So he is not too thrilled with that. I feel like we're done with him in the ring. I don't think we need to bring him back. So he wants a high cut of the merchandise. I don't know what merchandise he's selling, but sure, we'll give it to him. So Austin Gunn, he did suffer an injury. I don't think it's going to be too serious. So we'll have a quick little look at that. And it is going to be 5 days. So that's nothing to really worry about. A couple of things that has happened on this episode. Obviously, Will Hobbs got the big win over Jake Hager. Popularity now at 50 in the Southeast, which is great. It's the other areas that's the concern, but he's nearly at 40 for most of them, so that's really positive. He's starting to finally get there. It's been a really, really tough journey, but hopefully we're on the right track. Bobby Fish had a big main event match against Cody, and that's improved his popularity to 47, which is great to see. Eddie Kingston close to 50. I feel like he is kind of stagnated a little bit. Hopefully he'll pick it up soon. So with the Stark Order storyline, they're hovering around late 30s for Uno and Grayson. So a bit of work for them to do. John Silver, I feel like he got a little bit out of that promo he just did, because he was around 20 in one area. He's now moved up a little bit, so he's done a little bit better there as well, which is great. Kip Sabian around the 30 mark for this big storyline he's going to be involved in. Anthony Ogogo heading towards the right direction there as well, close to 30. Shawn Spears got a win over Janella. It gave him a slight little bump in a couple of areas, but not too much. We just can't improve his momentum. He's had 21 wins, 5 losses, and still nothing. It just doesn't matter what we do. He just has go away heat. No one gives a shit about him. So he's very difficult to book at the moment. I don't know if there's any real way for him to get any better other than just kind of beating someone with some name value, which I don't want to do. Speaking of name value, Jake Hager has lost some of it. He was at 62. He's dropped a couple of points after losing to Hobbs, which I'm more than happy for him to do, because I don't care about Jake Hager at all. I'd rather have him put over someone like Will Hobbs. Although he is pretty furious that he had to lose, so we might have to give him a bonus. And it's not enough. He's still very, very angry after losing to Hobbs. So we might have to give him a significant bonus, because I don't want to lose him, but I don't really care that he's mad. But he's now back to annoyed, so he won't quit anytime soon, which is good. I mean, Yuka Sakazaki, she's obviously still probably frustrated about what happened last time. I feel like that could be affecting her performances, so we'll give her a bit of a bonus to say sorry, to try and improve her morale, because we do have a lot of money at the moment. We're making plenty of money. It doesn't really matter if we spend a little bit of it to reinvest back into our talent, I would say. But that's where we're at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. All our new storylines are established. They're going to get started over the next few episodes. It's going to be an interesting one with Royal Flush. We might do Winter is Coming as well. So it's going to be some big episodes coming up in the near future. And of course, we just had our best ever match, Danielson and Matt Jackson on Dynamite. So it's been some big stuff ever. Some big stuff to happen on the show. Our best ever match is crazy. I can't even believe it was the best ever, but it was. So hopefully we can beat that in the near future. 92 is pretty good, but there's some room to improve, and hopefully we get there in the near future. Thanks guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next one.